I guess we're live right now then?
Yeah.
We are.
Okay. This is a meeting of April 27th, the Permanent Municipal Building Committee. I'd like to welcome anybody that's here listening for us. The first thing on the agenda is the minutes of April 13th, 2022. The minutes have been amended a little bit so that we could take care of the CM at risk. And Steve, should we have Brian give us an update on that before we go through with it?
I don't think we need to. All I did was add a couple of, I embellished a sentence or two to basically include some of the information that we had discussed in the meeting, but that wasn't reflected in the minutes, to make it more clear to whoever's reading it that we really want to go see him at risk.
Yeah, it was all stuff that was discussed, and it just it clarifies the CM at risk for the state and for the board.
Correct.
Looking for a motion for the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 2 weeks ago.
Steve Moore, second.
All right. Roll call, Steve.
Yes.
Bartlett Harvey.
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
Rich Crowley.
He's driving.
Rich Crowley.
He's not answering.
Rich, say yes.
I'll say yes for him.
Yeah.
Does that count?
He's
Rich, can you hear us?
And Bob Romley, yes.
Yeah. Well, I know that Rich is in favor of that. I talked to him earlier today, so I can by proxy vote for Rich.
And he was the one that made the motion to go with the CM at risk on the last meeting, so I'm sure that he's in favor of it.
Exactly.
Right. The next thing on the agenda is library update from Brian Force.
Thanks, Bob. At the library, we've had a little bit of progress on the base contract. We've received the credit change order from the contractor. We're in the process of closing them out. We've had some discussion with Conscom and Amy Green to review some of the erosion controls, making sure that she's satisfied with the growth that we have around the back of the structure, knowing that the wildflower mix that we had does take some time to establish. So all good on that front. We are working with some warranty issues as well as some of the energy consumption concerns that we had in the building. We've had some setbacks remotely, some settings remotely adjusted to try to curb the amount of electricity that we were spending. So, and ultimately that's more important right now because we don't have our solar panels on the structure right now. That's an ongoing topic. We are working with the engineers, and the settings have been made. We're waiting to see what our consumption is for this month.
So Brian, I have a question on the solar panels. I assume there's a minimum output that we're looking for from them. Is there any kind of guarantee if we do not achieve that minimum output that there's some kind of give back, or I don't know how that works.
Right. I will look. There is an agreement that's going to be with the Littleton Light regarding the. We will not be credited with any additional power that we generate that goes back into the grid. That was an agreement that Littleton Light had with the trustees. But as for the amount that it is generating, we have just received the submittals this week. They are, I believe, a little larger than what was designed. So per design, they will be generating what the design is. When and if it does not reach that, I will ask the engineers. I hope that we don't have to worry about that.
Brian, we were talking about two different solar panels. They were saying that you were saying that one of them was hard to get, and the other one, the company wanted to replace them. How's that going on?
Yeah, so the submittal that they sent on was a different manufacturer that was more readily available. That was just returned to the contractor yesterday with approved as noted. We wanted to make sure there was some assurances that the design was met with the racking system that they're anchoring into the roof panels. No issues with the solar panel itself. So as of yesterday, I believe the order has been placed, and I've been in touch with the contractor on a daily basis trying to find out what he thinks for a lead time on the panels themselves. The racking system might be an earlier lead time where they would mobilize and have a crew come out for a couple days to install the racking system so that when the panels do come in, it's more of a plug and play and to minimize the amount of time they're up on the roof. But all is good there. I think we're scheduling for hopefully around June to have those installed based upon the preliminary lead times that we heard. But we did a site walk with the contractor a week and a half ago, and we looked at some of the provisions, all of the raceways that were left from the previous electrician, and they're ready to go. So all is good on the solar panels. We received their bonds, their insurances, as well as their schedule of values. So at this point, we are waiting the delivery dates.
Great. Anybody, any other questions? Police station update, Brian?
Yeah, police at this point, I deemed that one closed out. The only question that was remaining at this point was to make sure that the architect CBI has submitted their final invoice. I did not want to go to the town accounting and have that closed out completely without any lingering invoices from the designer. So I've confirmed with our testing agent, our commissioning agent, and the contractor that they've all been paid in full. So I'm just waiting on that one from the designer. And at that point, then I would turn over to Alicia Nunley and Sean O'Brien in the town's accounting department to officially close that one out.
Did the building department get all the material that they needed?
Yep. So for both projects, library and the police, all of the closeout warranty and as-built documents are all on a soft copy and digital, and we had them sent to the building department to be uploaded to the town's viewpoint.
Great, thank you. You want to do an update on the senior center?
Sure, and I think you guys alluded to it. We had some suggested verbiage just because of the other applications that we've done with the Inspector General. We wanted to make sure that what you guys had discussed was clearly defined in the meeting minutes. So once we have those approved, and now that they've been voted on, we'll be finalizing the application to the Inspector General. Myself and John Lemieux from my office, and I'll be talking with Steve Moore as well, because we might need some correspondence with Town Council and Jenny Morrell. I think is it Miares Harris is the firm that she works for that represents the town, and so she ultimately will need to review that as well before it goes to the Inspector General. We're working with with LLB currently right now, as we did a presentation a couple weeks ago to the select board, and we're proceeding, with that schematic design and putting some final touches on that. We received our cost estimate recently that's being evaluated right now based upon numbers we're seeing in the current market, as well as what we paid for at the library. So
Brian, when was that cost estimate received?
Just last week, end of last week.
So I got a call from Anthony on Friday.
Yep.
He was fairly pleased with the revised estimate. And
I'm glad you said pleased. I didn't know what you were going to say there.
Yeah. So I've asked him to share the conceptual estimate with the committee. I haven't heard back from him.
Sure. I have a meeting with LLB tomorrow, and I will make sure that gets to your hands. I know that Designers and architects, sometimes they get protective of that as they want to make sure that they take a deep dive into it, make sure that the estimator wasn't taking assumptions on their design. But as a first pass on the initial sticker shock that we saw of the estimate across the parking lot, we had savings north of $3 million from the building that was built into the side of the hill.
Right, right.
Brian, is material starting to stabilize and come back down again, or what are we looking at?
Not really. If anything, it's stabilizing and where it's at right now because of material shortages. So we're starting to see Q1 or quarter one of this year. We haven't gotten too much relief on materials, and that's just strictly based on demand, and there not being any. So the hope is that Q2 we start to see a little bit of relief and lead times go down, and therefore helping stabilize some of the escalation that we saw on a lot of it. But the estimate that we did take into account what we're seeing right now, and if we go out to bid for construction a year from now.
Yeah. A lot of price has to do with the supply though, right? We're not
Yes.
getting, the supply's just not there.
Correct.
Well, you know, Bob, the cost of the senior center on the slope had a lot of ancillary costs involved with it, with the fire road down below, and what was it, a drainage system as well?
Correct.
Brian?
Yeah, the one of the things that would be saving us up near the tennis courts is the impervious surfaces. So we would have to have a subsurface drain structure if we built into the side of the hill like we did at the library.
Yeah.
There's also there would be a significant amount of utility runs that we would be taking off of Shattuck Street and running down on the other side, possibly coming off of King Street.
Right. I think Paul had a question.
Well, not a question, actually. I might be able to add something here. Maybe it may be that I have more detail. I'm got the report that Anthony sent us on Friday with the number differences. It was actually north of 4 million what we saw, and I can read you just what's here. I can forward it to you as well.
Was that a PowerPoint slide, sir?
Yeah, it was in his weekly report to the board. So
Okay.
he may have got it from the PowerPoint. And
Understood.
please, no sirs, please, Brian. All right. It says the total project cost on the slope site was $18,797,119. The new cost estimate came in at $14,647,354 for a savings of $4,149,765. Contributing cost saving measures include, at the Shattuck Street site, geotech indicates easier excavation, less extensive site work, closer to utilities, proximity to new library parking, less public safety requirements, less site drainage requirements, and then building modifications, more efficient building footprint layout, more traditional structure, project estimate, fine-tune project cost estimates. That's a general statement. I think means sharpen your pencil and drop the number a little bit. But if you'd like, Bob, I can just forward this. It's toward the bottom of the report, but I can forward that to you, and you can share it with your board as you see fit, if you'd like.
Forward it to Steve, Paul, and
Okay.
Steve can.
Yeah, I think, you know, what we would be interested in, Paul, is the actual estimate, so we can.
Yeah, this is just a stopgap. I'm sure you'll get that. You can ask for it, but in the meantime, I've just got this in front of me here. Now, Steve, as I recall, you're a man of many emails, Steve. So which email should I use for you? I probably have 10 of them in here for you.
PMBC, I guess.
Okay.
So I worked with LLB to kind of relate that high level message that Paul was just reading off of. The actual estimate, Steve, is probably about 10 to 12 pages, kind of broken down by CSI division. I know that's kind of what you're looking for as well. So I'll make sure.
If you've already got that, Brian, just then what I'm setting is just kind of redundant to that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the conceptual estimate would be in CSI, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that won't mean much to most of us, most of the committee, but it will certainly to,
Mike,
Mike. Yeah,
Mike,
because
okay.
he's a professional estimator.
it's nice to have them.
Brian, is there any thought or where is the money going to come from to relocate the tennis court?
Not currently. I know that Anthony has brought this up when we've discussed with the architect that if we have about a year to 15 months until we put a shovel in the ground in order to build this, that gives about that much time in order for the town to understand what we need to do in order to relocate some sort of a rec area inclusive of tennis courts.
I know that Park and Rec has asked the Community Preservation Committee to fund first the feasibility study, and they said that they were going to ask for the whole construction bill from the Community Preservation Committee.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Anybody, any other questions for Brian?
No.
All set then?
Thank you.
The high school roof, the other Brian's not here to give us an update on that. Member input, Steve?
I'm good.
Bartlett?
I'm good.
Rich? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Rich.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thanks. Just at the high school roof, Russo Bar has the drawings they need now to come up with a plan to provide some kind of a re-roof with a heating system on it, so that it doesn't develop the same kind of snow load that it was developing. So it's progressing. Otherwise, that's all I have to add.
Rich, you were muted when we took the vote on the minutes. We just want to make sure we get your approval.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely in favor of the minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have nothing new. Motion to adjourn,
So moved. Steve Moore.
Second, Bartlett, Harvey.
second by Bartlett. Steve,
Yes.
he's not used to sitting in the other
No,
chair.
I'm not.
Bartlett,
Bartlett, yes.
Rich Crowley,
Rich is yes as well. Thank you.
Bob Rummel, yes.
All right.
Boy, am I impressed with the meeting that gets all its business done in 22 minutes.
Got that right.
Paul, we try to keep it from 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, under budget and ahead of schedule. We get the right people on the job. Have a good evening, guys.
Paul,